Part 1. The Ordinary Trap.
Have you ever imagined that seemingly ordinary people, whom you would never suspect of any crime, could commit the most dangerous acts? You might not notice your neighbor, your acquaintance, or even a stranger on the street, and yet they could be hiding secrets you would never expect. This exact situation occurred in one U.S. state. This is the story of a major crime hidden behind ordinary-looking vehicles, motels, and gas stations. The criminals: Nancy Gatried, a middle-aged woman. According to neighbors, she was quiet, calm, and never caused any trouble. Thomas Harding, her life partner, calm, reserved, seemingly ordinary, but meticulously calculating every move in his mind. One day, they rented a U-Haul truck. The official reason: moving and transporting belongings. Their paperwork was in order, the payment completed. Everything seemed normal. But behind this ordinary appearance, a child's life was at stake. The journey began along nighttime highways, seemingly simple steps, yet carefully orchestrated. The truck crossed several states, stopping at motels, answering mundane questions at gas stations. One neighbor later said, "They looked completely ordinary. We didn't notice anything, but later, I understood everything." Nancy and Thomas planned every move meticulously. Every time they stayed at a motel, they altered records, slightly adjusted GPS directions, and never aroused suspicion. Question for the audience: if you saw that truck on the road, would you suspect anything? An ordinary-looking vehicle can hide the most dangerous tools without you even realizing it. The first steps on the road. Early in the morning, after picking up the U-Haul, Nancy and Thomas headed to the outskirts of the city. Everything appeared ordinary: the truck legally rented, the driver's credentials valid, and the roads open. Yet they calculated every single move. Traffic cameras along the route, motel registration records, time intervals at gas stations. Everything followed a carefully designed plan. On lonely, windy night roads, the truck's engine noise emphasized the isolation, but they showed no emotion. Nancy spoke on the phone according to plan, while Thomas focused on the road, calculating the movements of every passing vehicle. At motels, they left ordinary-looking records, but the true information was directed elsewhere. Everything had been meticulously planned. Motels and gas stations. At the motels, they asked ordinary questions to staff without raising suspicion. Which rooms are available? Just for one night? Is payment by card okay? At gas stations, it was the same. Fill it up? Card payment works? Everything seemed normal, but every answer was a carefully calculated step. Investigators later realized that behind these ordinary actions, there was a significant threat. Nancy and Thomas's thoughts. Nancy: everything is going according to plan. No one will notice. We are in control. Nothing will go wrong. Thomas: how did no one suspect us? We look too ordinary, but that is our advantage. These inner thoughts create tension and intrigue for the audience. The danger of ordinary actions. For viewers, this phase shows that ordinary appearances are never truly ordinary. Ordinary motel, ordinary records. Ordinary vehicle, ordinary roads. Ordinary questions, ordinary answers. Everything seemed simple, yet behind it lay hidden plans and dangerous intentions. More questions for the audience. If you saw that truck on the road, would you think it belonged to an ordinary person? If you were a motel employee, what would you feel? Do you think the child would be safe, or is it already too late?
Part 2. Investigation and the Criminal Secrets.
As the seemingly ordinary crime began to unravel, the police emerged from initial uncertainties. The first 24 hours after the child went missing were crucial. The police's initial assumptions were simple. The child had wandered off. A family dispute. Perhaps someone familiar had taken the child without permission. But as time passed, the facts began to align. GPS data, gas station records, and motel registrations all pointed to the same path. Investigators were astonished. How did they do it? An ordinary truck, ordinary records, an ordinary route, yet no one noticed anything. The criminal's psychology. Nancy and Thomas calculated every action. Nancy, thinking, everything is going as planned. No one will notice. We are in control. Nothing will go wrong. Thomas thinking, how did no one suspect us? We look too ordinary, but that is our advantage. We didn't break safety rules. Everything is legal, yet everything is under control. Investigators later uncovered diary entries, careful selection of motel rooms, slight GPS manipulation, exact timing at gas stations. These actions seemed ordinary but were part of a highly dangerous plan. Mystifications and secrets. Investigators checked every detail: camera footage, motel records, gas station logs, calls and payments. Everything seemed normal, yet every action was meticulously planned. The documents were correct, motel registrations legal. This phase demonstrated that ordinary appearances could hide extreme danger. The criminal's strategy. Nancy and Thomas communicated constantly, calculating each move, stopping at night on highways to select safe routes, asking ordinary questions at motels to avoid suspicion, making only necessary payments at gas stations, leaving no trace. Nancy, thinking, everything is going according to plan. No one will notice. We are in control. Thomas thinking, how did no one suspect us? We look too ordinary, but that is our advantage. These thoughts build tension and intrigue for the audience. Police investigation. Investigators work tirelessly, reviewing camera footage, comparing motel records, checking gas station payments, analyzing calls and GPS routes. After several days, they traced Nancy and Thomas's path. Every move had been carefully calculated, yet no evidence was left on the road. Investigators realized ordinary-looking people can be the most dangerous. They carried out everything without being noticed. Questions for the audience. If you were driving that highway, would you miss every clue? If you worked at a motel, what would you notice? Would the child survive, or was it too late? Crime revealed. Later, testimonies confirmed. Motel employee. They were quiet. We noticed nothing. But later I understood everything was according to plan. Gas station cashier. They paid, but there was something strange in their eyes. Something hidden. These details create a sense of mystical and dramatic intrigue. The criminal's final steps. By the time Nancy and Thomas reached the final motel, the plan was complete. Everything seemed ordinary, yet every action had been accounted for. Nancy, thinking, everything went according to plan. No one noticed. We are in control. Thomas thinking, how did no one see us? We looked so ordinary, yet everything was under our control. Audience intrigue. This phase shows the audience ordinary actions can hide dangerous secrets. Even ordinary people can commit extremely dangerous acts. Imagine if you were the police, could you have uncovered everything in time?
Part 3. Court, Public Reaction, and Conclusion.
From the moment they entered the courtroom, everything was silent. A hush fell over the room. Yet in everyone's mind lingered the question, what did Nancy Gatried and Thomas Harding do? Audience question. If you were sitting in the courtroom, how would you perceive the defendants? The trial began. The prosecutor opened the case. Ordinary-looking people, using an ordinary rental truck, altered the life of a child. The paperwork was in order, the route simple, the motels ordinary. But everything was calculated. This is the most dangerous plan hidden behind ordinary appearances. The defense attorney argued, my clients are ordinary people. They committed ordinary actions without intent. Society has overestimated their actions. Witnesses spoke in turn. Motel employee. They were quiet. We noticed nothing. But later I understood. Gas station cashier. They paid, but there was a strange look in their eyes. Something hidden. All witness statements intensified tension and intrigue in the courtroom. The defendant's final words. Nancy Gatried. Everything went according to plan. No one noticed. We were in control. You didn't understand us, but we lived as ordinary people. History may never understand us. Thomas Harding. How did it all become clear? We only defended ourselves. Society overestimated us, but we were merely ordinary-looking people. The courtroom remained silent. Every word resonated. Each detail conveyed a mystical sense of fear and intrigue. Public reaction. After the verdict, the public reacted strongly. Media, social networks, and comments erupted. How could ordinary people do this? Why didn't the police notice in time? Where is the child? Some social media users wrote in fear. The most dangerous people may appear completely ordinary. This forced the audience to reconsider crime from a new perspective. Psychological and philosophical conclusion. Ordinary-looking people can sometimes commit the most dangerous acts. Ordinary roads can hide dangerous tools. Ordinary behavior can manipulate trust. In a world where nothing seems extraordinary, real crimes may unfold in secret. The intrigue remains for the audience. Ordinary people can hide the most dangerous secrets. You can never know, but you will always wonder. No. Verdict and cliffhanger. The court's verdict. Nancy Gatried and Thomas Harding were found guilty, sentenced to long-term imprisonment. The case caused massive public reaction, but the final questions lingered. Where is the child? Has every detail of the crime been revealed? Ordinary things are not always ordinary. The last intrigue for the audience. Never trust something just because it looks ordinary. In an ordinary world, the most dangerous secret can be hidden.